It was a quiet Saturday afternoon when Edward unfolded the dowry list from Fanta's father. He blinked, rubbed his eyes, and blinked again. First item, 16-inch MacBook Pro for father of the bride. He swallowed. Next line, 4 iPhone 17s for the brothers of the bride. Hey! Edward gasped so loud, his father came running. By the time he reached one motorbike plus 20,000 cash bride price, the paper was shaking in his hands. Mr. Owusu snatched it, scanned it, then slapped his thigh laughing. Edward, are you marrying a wife or opening a mini Apple store? Edward buried his face in his palms. Daddy, I'm finished. Mr. Owusu paced muttering, My son, this is not marriage. This is an IMF poverty alleviation program. If you follow this list, you will enter the union with debt and it will take your great-grandchildren to pay it off. Meanwhile, Fanta was at home, snapping selfies, her ring glistening under the soft light. When Edward came by, his voice trembled. Fanta, did you see the list your father prepared? Please, it's too much. Can you talk to him? She looked up from her phone like he'd interrupted her makeup tutorial. Babe, relax. I'm my father's princess. You think I'll come cheap? If you love me, you'll do this for me. She kissed his cheek and went back to posing. Edward's chest sank. He loved her too much. Against his better judgment, he nodded. But what he didn't know was this. The dowry list was only the trailer. The full movie was about to begin. If Edward thought the dowry list was bad, he hadn't seen anything yet. The following Saturday, Fanta dragged him to her favorite rooftop cafe. Midway through brunch, she slid a glossy brochure across the table. Babe, guess who I booked? Eileen McCarthy Events. She's half British, half Ghanian, a very exclusive wedding planner. Only $50,000. Early bird discount too. She clapped her hands like a child who'd seen ice cream. Edward nearly choked on his orange juice. 50,000. Did you mean cedis or dollars? For planning? Do we even need a wedding planner? Fanta giggled. Babe, relax. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Don't you want people to see how much you love me? Besides, Eileen plans for the who's of who's in this country. With her, who trend on every blog. Edward wiped sweat from his forehead. But Fanta, there's life after the wedding. She wasn't listening. She didn't even notice how nervous Edward looked. She pulled out another list. Makeup artist, 20,000 Ghana cedis. Photographer, 17,000 Ghana cedis. Natural bouquet, 7,000 Ghana cedis. Bridesmaids, 16. Each must be gifted Ray-Ban sunglasses. Edward's jaw hit the table. 16? How do you even have 16 female friends? And why must we be gifting them sunglasses? Are you not the bride? And babe, why are we spending 7,000 on flowers that will wither? But Fanta was already lost in her fantasy. Our wedding will trend, babe. We'll be on Apenthene Bridal Magazine's cover. Hashtag Royal Wedding of the Year. Edward leaned back, chest tight, the world spinning. That night, Edward sat at a football viewing center with his boys, me and Desmond. But instead of cheering, he was quiet, staring at his drink like he held the answers of life. Me, the self-appointed president of Singles for Life, leaned back grinning. My guy, today Man United beat Chelsea, but look at your face. Why do you look so sad? Edward forced a smile and recounted the wedding wahala, the list, the sunglasses, the $50,000 wedding planner. Me burst out laughing, almost spilling his beer. Eddie, Rano, this girl is trying to bury you alive in debt. Come join our singles club. I'll make you vice president. Just find yourself one baby mama and stop this wedding stress. Desmond chuckled but shook his head. Don't mind me. Marriage is a good thing, but it must be done right. Eddie, let me tell you, I made the same mistake you're about to make. I borrowed money for my glamorous wedding. Bro, we didn't even taste the food at our own reception. 2 years later, we had to get divorced because during the entirety of the marriage, We were broken fighting every day over money. 5 years on, I'm still paying debts from that wedding. You know my story. Edward sat still, the noise of the center fading away. He stared at his bottle, heart pounding. He loved Fanta, no doubt about that. But at what cost? He clenched his jaw. One thing was certain, he had to talk to her. Somehow, he had to make her see reason before the wedding buried him alive. After leaving the viewing center, Edward drove straight to Fanta's house. He had rehearsed his speech like a lawyer preparing for the Supreme Court. Sitting in the car outside her gate, he held her hand to his chest and went straight to the point. Fanta, you know I love you, but please, the wedding expenditure is too high. From the dowry list to the vendors, everything is so excessive. Babe, we can still have a beautiful wedding without breaking the bank. At this rate, I'll finish my savings and even go for a loan. I don't want us starting marriage in debt. For once, Fanta was quiet. No arguments. Just a sweet smile with a gentle clap of her hands. She said, Babe, don't worry. I've got you. I have a solution. You know your girl. Trust me. Edward exhaled in relief. He whispered, babe, you're darling. Thank you for understanding. He leaned in and pegged her cheek. She stroked his hand, giggling. Trust me, babe. This wedding will not drain us. In fact, you're a very lucky man. You chose a very wise woman. You're going to owe me big for this. Edward smiled for the first time in days. Relief washed over him as his eyes softened. Oh, Fanta, this is why I love you. You're finally seeing the bigger picture. They laughed it off and Edward drove away with his chest feeling light, like a man who had just won the lottery. On his way home, he dialed his voice on a conference call. Guys, he announced proudly, my woman gets sense, oh. She no stress me, cry. I spoke to her and bam, she's on board with not breaking the bank for the wedding. No stress. Me, see your life. Shun the fooling way you the fool. Get yourself a good woman like Fanta. The boys erupted with laughter and banter, hyping him up. Edward smiled to himself. For the first time in weeks, he believed everything was going to be all right. The very next morning, Edward strolled into the office, only to find his colleagues huddled in small groups, faces glued to their phones. As he walked past them, they burst into laughter. Someone even whispered, VVIP or ordinary, before choking on giggles. Edward blinked. Maybe it's a new meme, he thought to himself, adjusting his tie. But before he could settle behind his desk, his phone rang. Edward Kwabna Ofe Owusu, his mother's voice thundered. What is this nonsense your cousins are spreading? That you are selling tickets for your wedding? Edward almost dropped his phone. His mom only used his full name when she was disappointed in him. Ma, calm down. Tickets? I don't know anything about tickets. Please, don't mind them. He hung up after he had reassured her, but his curiosity burned. He opened Instagram, he opened Twitter, and then his blood froze. Front page, trending. Hashtag wedding for sale. There were flyers, countdown timers, even ticket tiers. VVIP, $100. VIP, $50. Ordinary, $20. And at the bottom of the flyers, powered by Fanta Events. For enquiries, DM at Glam Fanta. Edward's eyes nearly fell out. His own face plastered beside Fanta's, smiling like a fool. Caption, be part of our love story. Limited tickets available. He couldn't breathe. His WhatsApp was buzzing. Friends forwarding flyers with laughing emojis. Even his boss sent him the link with just one line. Really? Edward slammed in his chair, head spinning. So this was Fanta's solution, turning their wedding into a stadium concert, charging gate fees like Stonebwoy was performing live. That was his breaking point. Right there, Edward knew if he didn't run, this marriage would finish him even before it began. For 3 days straight, Fanta's calls and texts to Edward went unanswered. Anxiety chewed at her. Finally, she sat across her best friend Pamela, nails tapping against her boba tea. Pam, it is ghosting me. Oh. Do you think I went too far with the ticketing thing? Pamela's eyes bulged. Went too far? My sister, you built a whole website to sell tickets to your own wedding. And the worst part is, you didn't even consult him first. Didn't I tell you? Social media validation cannot hold marriage. But you know they hear word. Now see, your groom has absconded. Fanta's lips trembled. So what do I do? Pamela folded her arms. What do you do? Stand up, go to his house and face the music. Are you still sitting here looking at me? Get up, la. That evening, Fanta marched to Edward's house. But instead of Eddie, Mama Owusu opened the door. And Mama didn't waste time. No water, no pleasantries. Just a piercing stare. Sit down, young lady. Her voice cuts like a whip. Let's talk about this madness you've been cooking. Listen, young lady. Every week, someone shout throws a bigger wedding, which will be more talked about than the wedding before it. If you don't want my son, it's not by force. But if you want him, choose peace over pressure. Look at you, running after clouds, while the man you claim to love is drowning. Do you think marriage is a fashion parade? Fanta's shoulders slammed, shame creeping up her cheeks. Mama's tone softened slightly. Your boyfriend has run away to his aunt's place in the village, just to hide from this nonsense. Take this address. She pressed a slip of paper into Fanta's hand. But listen, if you go there, leave this your Accra drama behind. If you love my son, prove it. For the first time in her glittering Instagram life, Fanta had a reality check. She clutched the paper, her heart pounding, hoping it was not too late. The sun was already low when Fanta reached the village. Her heels kept sinking in the red dust as she dragged her small overnight suitcase. Edward sat quietly under a mango tree in his simple shirt and shorts. Edward. Her voice was small. He looked up startled, silence, then a sigh. So you found me. She stepped closer, guilt written all over her face. I'm sorry. I thought the tickets would ease the pressure and help us have our grand wedding. I didn't know it would come to this. Edward stood. His voice was steady but heavy. Fanta, you don't get it. I want you to have your dream wedding, but not one that will put even our grandchildren in debt. I was drowning and you didn't even notice. It made me question us. Today, it's a wedding. Tomorrow, I have to sell my organs for a baby shower. Where do you draw the line? Her eyes filled with tears. She dropped onto the bench. I was wrong, Eddie. Pamela told me. Your mother told me. Now I see it. I was chasing clouds. I don't want to lose you. Can we start over? For the first time in days, his face softened. He took her hand. Fanta, I love you. But marriage is not a stage show. It's us. If you understand that, we can still work. She squeezed his hand. I understand. I choose us. The next few days in the village reset everything. Fetching water together, eating by the fire with Edward's aunt, laughing at life's simplicity. When they finally returned to the city, they weren't just planning a wedding, they were preparing for a marriage. When Fanta came back from the village, she called for a family meeting. Her father sat grandly in his armchair. Her 4 brothers scattered across the living room like spectators waiting for drama. Fanta walked in, chin high, eyes sharp. They had never seen her like this. Daddy, we need to talk. Her father raised a brow. Talk about what, my princess? She didn't blink. The dowry list. Daddy, tell me the truth. Did Mommy's family demand such items from you? Flat screen TV, MacBook Pro, 20 crates of malt, 2 cows, even fuel coupons. Would you have survived it if they had? Staring at her brother, she asked, would you guys be able to handle such a list when it's your turn? Silence. The living room froze. Her brother suddenly found the floor tiles very interesting. One cleared his throat and muttered, maybe we went too far. At the mention of her late mother, her father's tough exterior cracked. His eyes glistened. Your mother, she would never have approved. You're my only daughter. I got carried away. Fanta's voice softened. Daddy, you taught us better. Don't let me start my marriage with debt and disgrace. The weight of her words broke him. Slowly he nodded, his shoulders sagging. You are right, my jewel. Forgive me. I set a bad example. The list would be slashed to the basics. No child of mine would suffer to marry. Her brothers bowed their heads in shame. There was not a single argument. Then, as if to redeem himself, her father added, in the kitchen, we'll handle it as a family. And if you need any more support, don't hesitate to ask us. Anything for my princess. Fanta fell into his arms, tears of relief spilling down her cheeks. Her voice cracked as she whispered, I'm sorry, my daughter, truly sorry. Fanta knew she had to clean up the mess she had created with the ticket sale. So one bright Saturday morning, she took a deep breath, opened her Instagram and typed, Dear friends, family and my online community, I want to sincerely apologize. I got carried away. In trying to impress the world, I lost focus on what matters. Marriage is not a circus show. I have refunded every ticket payment, and from today, I no longer seek validation from flashy weddings. Please forgive me. Yours truly, Glam Fanta. She hit post. Within minutes, her phone began to buzz. The comments were wild. Some people dragged her. Hey, you wanted to turn your marriage into Africella? Others hailed her bravery. Finally, somebody has said it. Validation is killing us, oh. Then something strange happened. The internet shifted. Mockery turned into confession. People began pouring out their own regrets. One lady wrote, I'm still paying the loan for my wedding after 3 years. Please don't be like me. Another confessed, after all the money, the marriage ended in 6 months. The whole comment section turned into group therapy. Social media was healing itself through Fanta's disgrace. Then, out of nowhere, blessings started to roll in. A bridal gown designer commented, Sis, I'll make your dress for free. Authenticity deserves reward. A bridal stylist DM'd her, Don't worry, I'll handle your bridal styling on the house. Even a popular DJ wrote, Let me set your dance floor on fire, no charge. Fanta's jaw dropped. Vendors were literally volunteering free services because she chose honesty over hype. Edward just shook his head, half proud, half amused. So after all this wahala, is the truth that gave us a discounted wedding package? Truly, God works in mysterious ways. For the first time since the drama began, they laughed about the wedding. The wedding day finally came. It was a simple but classic debt-free celebration, but the joy in the air could power the whole of Ghana. Fanta glowed in her elegant gown, and Edward, he couldn't stop grinning when she walked down the aisle. The man looked like he had just won the World Cup. At the reception, people ate till their stomachs begged for mercy, danced till their feet ached, and laughed like it was the last party on earth. No loans, no stress, no fake packaging, just love and good vibes. Me tapped Edward on the back, raising his glass. Nicely done, man. I may just resign as president of the Singles for Life Association. Edward laughed so hard he almost spilled his drink. As the evening sun dipped low, Edward leaned close to his bride. His voice was low and tender. Fanta, can you see? We didn't need a grand wedding to make today special. All we needed was us. Fanta smiled and squeezed his hand tighter. Her voice carried the weight of her journey. Eddie, I've learned something. A wedding lasts one day, but marriage is for life, and peace of mind, that is a real bridal gift. And so they danced into the night, not as a trending topic, not as a spectacle, but as two souls who had finally chosen love over likes. The wedding that almost became a circus ended up the sweetest reminder that true marriage isn't powered by tickets, dowry list, or social media hype. It's powered by love. For in the end, when the lights go off and when the music fades, and when the crowd goes home, it's not the wedding that remains, it is the marriage. Hi fam, click the link on the right to dive into yet another captivating tale. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button. Until next time, It's bye from us at Apenthene African Stories.